France for vacation.
Insane. Come on, Diane not just Diana.
Is the CIA behind me?
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for 500,000 followers on TikTok. Oh my gosh. The Diana conspiracy series is still going strong. We have up to part 50 uploaded on my TikTok right now. But for now, if you'd like, I have part 20 to part 40 right here for you in this video, so you can watch the whole thing without any breaks, and you can check out part 1 to 20 if you haven't seen it yet. Now, this conspiracy series is all about the one time I met a lady that looked exactly like Princess Diana, and some pretty crazy things have happened, like in real life, not just online. I can't disclose specific details about that, but you know, just like for respect for my own mental health and also for the grieving family that is involved in the situation. More updates will be coming, I promise. Please be patient. In the meantime, please enjoy this video. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for liking this video, commenting down below, and for following me on my Instagram, following me on TikTok, and following me on my witchy Instagram page as well. I do general tarot readings on that Instagram page, so make sure you hop over there. Thank you so much. Enjoy! Back with another part. Promise I'm gonna get more into the theories, I promise. But while we're on the topic, I'm gonna get into more stories that were submitted to me. I have to sift through them because I don't believe all of them, but I found some interesting ones. So remember, these are stories and we don't know if they're really true, but they're interesting. This person got the opportunity to travel to Toronto, Canada because their good friend was in a fashion show. She got bored and started looking around and saw a lady that looked like Diana. The big guys around her. That's the same as when I saw her. It was all men with her. Felt too uncomfortable to approach her, which I totally understand. It's a professional setting. This girl was in Paris on a vacation. Blue innocent eyes looked at her and said, "Yes, I get that a lot." Still to this day doesn't know what to believe, but she just knows she was lovely. She didn't really giggle, but it was more like a smirk. Guys, if she were in hiding, she can't stay in her house all day and do nothing. If she wants to live a normal life in certain professional settings, she can, because no one will really believe it. Would feel comfortable enough to draw attention. These are what made these stories believable to me. Hi everyone, in this part, I really want to discuss something that has been on my mind, kind of put the two and two together. So, I noticed a trend in the stories that have been submitted to me and in the official news reports that I've been reading. Most common sightings are in France, which is where the tragedy took place originally, and which is ruled by the government, which I think is protecting her. The second most common place? Canada. This is what really got my brain wheels turning, okay? Because not only does Canada still recognize the British monarchy, us over here in Canada are also ruled by another set of colonists. Two national languages of Canada are English and French. There are areas in Canada that have interesting perspectives on British government. I thought I might be tired of this by now, and I've been working on incorporating another theory into this. But I am not tired of this because the stories are blowing my mind. People are starting to be like, I'm not crazy. So in my previous part about another person who thinks they saw her near Kate Middleton's house at a store while they were working, someone who also lives really close to the Middletons contacted her with a sighting. The person said their brother saw the TikToks and swears he has a very similar experience. Brother ended up messaging Sarah, "God, I am not crazy." And she just reassured them, "No, you're not. I honestly swear as well." So, this person claims they spotted her standing outside a house on School Hill. But they were like, no, I'm crazy. But their partner saw it too and they were convinced, anonymously, that she might be out there, just like I think. Hi everyone, I'm back and I have another theory about Diana. I want to talk about the vacation trip that Diana and Dodie took with her sons as well, the summer leading up to the tragic accident. So actually what's interesting to note is the tragedy did not take place until after the boys had returned safely back home from vacation. Diana had already called home and called her butler and said, "I'm ready to come home. I'm done with this vacation now." During this phone call, he asked her, well, how is Dodie treating you? And she said, oh, he's very spoiling. He's very generous. And the butler's response was like, girl, you know that ring is coming, girl. And it was. He did, in fact, buy her a ring. But here's the kicker. Here's what I think. I think they already got married. Maybe if it is true that she planned this accident to prevent something worse, this could have been her way as a final vacation. Okay, big questions about the last part I made. My mind was like so blown that I kind of didn't really explain properly, I don't think. So we'll call this part 24, continued. Quick timeline. Diana, Dodie, Harry, William, they go to South France for vacation. Harry and William returned home to attend other matters. Dodie and Diana stayed longer, continued their vacation. Upon returning home via Paris later is when the tragedy took place. I find it very suspicious that the boys conveniently returned home before the accident took place. And the most notable thing I found suspicious had to do with a phone call that she made to her butler. So let me just re-explain this. She told him he got her a watch, earrings, a necklace, very specific things. She never mentioned that he got her a ring. But he did get her a ring. And all the friends covered it up and said it wasn't an engagement ring. So then what's the secret? Why not mention it? Everything leading up to this accident is just fitting into the plan a little bit too much. So I was recently tagged in a video that quite literally gave me chills. Some of you may know I am a practicing witch and clairsentient. This means I have the gift of psychic feeling. It also means I'm an empath, which is draining, but useful. The reason this is relevant will make sense when you watch this.
And Princess Diana will be there too, and she will be most likely speaking. Michael Jackson will be there too.
This psychic's claiming like a bunch of celebrities are actually alive and it's gonna come forward.
It's true that JFK Jr. is alive. You'll know sooner than spring, but you know, by spring at the latest, everybody will know.
So when I saw this, my heart, like, it's pounding right now. Like, it just started pounding. I just felt it. Are they recently getting braver? Is that why so many people are coming forward? Because they're gonna be revealed soon? I have received the most insane story submission about this lady or someone very similar looking to this lady, except for the hair, being spotted in a semi-public location. And this story is absolutely mind-blowing. So this individual was staying at a hotel near Toronto and they checked in very late at around 11 p.m. This is when her group ran into a lady that looked exactly like Princess Diana. A notable detail is that she slipped a card to the worker at the hotel. This is where things take a turn. This individual runs into this Diana lookalike near the vending machine, so she thinks, oh, I'll be nice and wave hello. This lady went right back into her room and reappeared maybe a minute later with her suitcase, sprinting down the hall. This disturbed and worried this individual, so they reported it to the staff. They looked at each other and said, she did it again. If this story is true, then I have little to no doubt that a lot of these sightings coming forward really are Princess Diana. The setting for the submission is the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Paris. And this individual ran into a lady that looked a lot like our closest computer-generated picture we could find. I have to reiterate, this is not exactly what she looks like, okay? This lady was between two men who we assume were her bodyguards. He jokingly says, "You look a lot like Princess Diana." And she giggled, and before she could talk, one of the men said, "The car is outside." And like the other stories, they left in a scurry. Now, if that's not suspicious enough, just wait till you hear what happened next. Right as the men were asking her to come out to the car, one of them slipped up. And they said, "Come on, Diane Simpson wants us there eminently." The person says it was evident that he almost called her Diana. Just made their spine tingle. Alright, this time we have something a little different. Are you ready? I don't think you're ready for this. And I am definitely keeping this person anonymous. So this individual reached out to me, and their uncle used to work as a footman for Diana and Charles. This individual said their uncle always told stories about Princess Diana and was actually pretty close with her. Jealous. Now, their uncle once told them that he overheard Charles and Diana arguing about Diana stealing the limelight. That does not surprise me. He also says he heard Charles another time mention the plan. This was weeks before her death. They also said their uncle was told by Diana that she loved Canada and she always wanted to visit there. But their uncle was also told of how the plan would mean he could risk losing his job. And apparently he was made redundant a year after Diana's death. The Footman uncle believes it was an inside job. Okay, after this, I promise we're gonna switch it up. This is the last Diana sighting theory that I cover for a little while. It's new evidence coming in. Now I want to talk about the last sighting that chilled me to my core. Y'all remember the Uncle Footman from my last part? The next part stood out to me because it takes place. This girl was only a child when a black car pulled up beside her and her family. Passenger was an older version of Princess Diana, definitely a lookalike. What's so strange and so chilling to me, I think this says a lot about our generation compared to our parents, is her parents kind of just like smiled and looked away. That's so weird. But this moment just really stuck with this girl because she claims this lady giggled and smiled and, you know, it was like she knew this girl recognized her. Also, a distant relative of Diana's reached out to me. Her nephew never ever speaks of the royal family or anything. I'm running out of time. I'm here. I'm sorry I ran out of time. As I mentioned, a distant relative of Diana's reached out to me. They know her nephew very well. He's Prince William's cousin, bear in mind. He never speaks of them, and he never speaks of Diana either. Well, if anybody brings it up, he just says he can't talk about it. This bit of info gave me absolute shivers, bruh. Always says he has 3 aunts visiting for Christmas and stuff. But he's only supposed to have 2 aunts that are alive anyway. Person has a theory that she actually lives right there with the royals. She just living her life. Alright guys, I just want to say thank you for sticking with me through this. I promise the next story is going to be totally different. Received some of the most outrageous information yet. This is the big moment you've all been waiting for. You see, my friends, not just Diana, who is perceived to have once lived amongst us comfortably while supposedly deceased. This theory involves Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, JFK Jr., and of course, Lady Diana. In fact, there is literally a secret island all these people can escape to and reside safely.
Excuse me?
This submission, this mother, and known to be a very honest person, claims that someone in her family actually worked on this island. Literally have doctors, nurses, cooks, maids, everything. A whole hotel island to keep them safe. And says they heard it from a very honest woman at 4 a.m. when she had nothing to gain from it. So this includes Elvis, probably not still alive, Michael Jackson, and many others. A lot of you guys have already seen this video about the time I saw a lady that looked exactly like an aged version of Princess Diana at a private resort that I worked at over the summer. Now, this encounter has led me down a rabbit hole of conspiracies, including the island theory, which I covered in my last episode. Sources coming forward that have worked on this island, and they say celebrities actually escape there to live safely. And right here, I have to put a trigger warning, because I think what's confusing a lot of people is why.
By spring at the latest, everybody will know.
And why would this all suddenly come forward? First of all, it's actually no secret that Diana was friends with Michael Jackson, JFK Jr., and this is called the Elvis dress. Now, these people found out about some messed up stuff that they were not comfortable with. And the Royal Footman from part 28, he actually backs this up. That's devastating. The man who was a footman for Diana and Charles has reached out, and this is his story. Trigger warning. He said this island serves as sort of a witness protection. Diana heard about Epstein and certain celebrities, including Prince Andrew, abusing children, and Diana tried to put an end to it by telling the Queen and the press. But apparently this footman advised her not to, as Andrew is the Queen's favorite child and nothing would ever happen. So she told Charles, and he told her that the best way out, especially as she's in the royal family, would be to move to the island. And apparently the royal family helped fund this island decades ago with other billionaires. It works as a resort for those who need to hide for big reasons. So they reckon if Michael Jackson and Elvis Presley are or were on the island, then probably so are the victims of celebrity, bad guys. Crazy enough, the ex-footman for Diana and Charles had some more info he was willing to share. So apparently the original plan was for Diana to immigrate to New Zealand or Australia with her lover Dodie. Her friend Sarah Ferguson, known as Fergie, recommended some islands near Portugal, but Diana apparently liked milder places than that. She made tons of hints that she wanted to relocate to Canada. Hearing this story about her kind of makes me smile. She used to joke around with her close staff and say that she might live a double life in Nelson, Canada as a kindergarten teacher. And he also heard her trying to attempt a really strong southern accent like Dolly Parton. Now this part does not make me smile. I suppose he heard her crying one time. And he heard her cry, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, Wombat." He also heard her say, "It's the only way, Ginger." You guys, I really don't think she wanted to do this. Also, Charles is such a judgmental asshole. This is so scary. This is definitely gonna give you shivers. Let's take a listen to this audio. Literally, just from that part, I have goosebumps on my skin, tears in my eyes. Then he says this. Alright, Michael was scared and Michael was prepared. Let's take a listen to the rest of this disturbing phone call. Michael is ready to do what he needs to do to protect his babies. And for the people saying Diana would never ever do this to her children, I totally see where you're coming from. But if you think she wouldn't do anything to protect her babies, that is something they have in common. And I theorize it's something they may have bonded over. Sightings of Princess Diana are far from over. And I promised you guys I'd be back with more. This submission takes place at Kensington Palace. This girl had a friend who was super obsessed with Diana growing up. Loved her. On their trip to London, they saw Windsor Castle, Buckingham Palace, but it was at Kensington that something strange happened. Upon seeing the exhibit of Diana's passing, her friend got really upset and started crying. So they left and took a break by the gift shop. Gift shop owner felt bad and offered her some candy, and then he said, "You know, I wouldn't normally tell Americans this, but you both have such pretty smiles and it's such a waste to cry. I'm gonna tell you a rumor that is pretty much accepted as truth around here. That rumor is that Diana actually didn't die, and more so, retired, and is living somewhere very private, where she is no longer bothered or bullied or held at the royal standard." He said, "In fact, a lot of people who work in this industry see her walking around visiting her sons, but they know not to approach her or say anything." Besides sightings after her supposed death, an ex-footman of Diana, an ex-employee of the secret island resort, and now the palace gift shop employee all have responses and stories that insinuate that I'm on the right path. Let's get back into what the gift shop guy has to say. Obviously, after being told that Diana isn't dead, she's just hiding, the girls stopped crying. And of course they asked, "Have you seen her?" He said, "I had a friend who actually used to work inside the palace and saw her enter the palace and give William a big hug, and then she gave a small wave to everyone working, as though they all knew she was still around. He still works here, in the gift shop, actually. I repeat, he still works here, in the gift shop, actually." So the girls were like, "So by your friend, you mean you?" So then he nervously laughed and said, "It's just a rumor." Obviously, anyone who would see that would have to sign legal documents and could never talk about it to two random teenage girls.
So over the summer, I accepted this position as a fine dining server in this 4-diamond 5-star resort.
Dear people who think I made this up and are commenting saying it's not real, they can't find it on my Instagram, I'm just gonna shamelessly plug my Instagram. And I'm going to tell you, since this is a completely different video, what the resort is called that I worked at. Welcome to Fox Harbour, Canada's premier oceanfront resort. I'm also going to shamelessly plug how stunning this resort is. Like, if you can afford to stay here, I completely recommend it. You can even fly directly to the resort, which is totally convenient. This is like an $80 steak. The views are stunning. So much green. Pro golf courses. Tiger Woods played here. Employee discount.
Exactly like Princess Diana, like, yeah, I've heard that before.
So whether or not Princess Diana is still alive to this day remains a mystery. The evidence in my last parts has shown that we just can't be too certain. But regardless of whether or not you believe this is true, you cannot deny that these deaths are still so suspicious. And the ex-footman for Diana and Charles, who reached out to me, he said that the driver of the car at the crash was likely to have his drink spiked by British spies because he threatened to tell the press about the secret that Diana accidentally revealed. There was a similar car used to what Diana was in, and my uncle reckons that it was a decoy to trick the public into thinking she died. Regardless, there's so much evidence that the driver was completely fine until he started driving.
The children. Best strategy ever. Cruelest. Parents have no reason to live once you take their children. You don't know if they're ever coming back. Percentage of them didn't. What about them? They fell into deep depression, darling. What do you think? That we watched our kids go to school never to see them again and then rejoiced? What if they suddenly took all your relatives' children away from them? Look what's happening in the United States right now.
You see, I got a diamond ring, my shoes supreme, and that's the way I feel.